All right, Aquarius, let's get into your reading. All right, the energy coming through today is this, and you need to sit with every single word. Let us come in close today because this reading holds a conversation that has been quietly forming. The message is about honesty, the raw and unguarded kind that strips everything down to bone. This person has reached a place inside themselves where pretending is no longer an option for them. They have been carrying words for far too long, and those words are now demanding release. You can feel it already, brewing in the energy, even if neither of you has fully named it. This is not going to be a casual exchange. It is the kind of talk that shifts everything. You are not imagining this tension, it is real, and has a destination that neither of you expected. The weight behind this moment has been building quietly, and now it reaches a tipping point between you. Every card I pulled today confirms one thing, and that is a conversation already forming in their mind. They have been rehearsing this talk in silence, turning every word over until it feels safe to land. The first card here is the Knight of Swords, and it cuts right through all of the noise. This energy does not hesitate or second guess. It charges straight toward what needs to be spoken. The Knight of Swords confirms a decision has been reached, and that decision involves revealing their full truth. They are not coming to you with rehearsed lines. They are bringing everything they sat on. There is a forward momentum inside this card, and it tells me nothing will slow this person down. Once this energy locks in on a direction, every barrier between thought and speech starts crumbling fast. They crossed a threshold inside of themselves, and there is no returning from this particular moment. The clarity hit them like a wave, and once it arrived, there was no way to unsee it. Right now, they are gathering the courage to match that clarity, because knowing and speaking are different battles. The fire behind their words is not anger, it is the kind of heat that only truth generates. Everything inside them has aligned toward one single moment, and that moment is closer than you realize. The next card coming through is the Ace of Swords, and it confirms total clarity has finally arrived. Whatever fog or confusion existed before has burned away, and they see things now with undeniable precision. This is not a confused energy at all. This person knows exactly what they need to communicate. The Ace of Swords shows a breakthrough moment where everything they processed finally clicks into one truth. That truth has edges to it, and those edges are what make this conversation feel so necessary. They have sat with this long enough to know that silence is no longer protecting either one. We also have the Queen of Cups here, and she layers deep emotional care into all of this. This tells me their conversation will not be cold or detached. It arrives wrapped in genuine vulnerability. The Queen of Cups says this honesty is rooted in care, not in resentment or frustration at all. What stands out is the tenderness beneath the truth, like they need to be honest without wounding you. This person wrestles with how to deliver the words because your feelings carry deep weight in their heart. The Queen of Cups reveals that every sentence planned has been carefully filtered through real and patient love. They are not trying to start a fight. They want to build something honest from this ground up. Nothing about this conversation comes from blame. It comes from a place of raw and total devotion. Then we have the star appearing at the close of this pull, radiating pure hope across this reading. The star tells me this conversation is not designed to break anything. It is designed to heal. There is so much light waiting beyond this talk, and both of you are going to feel it. The star does not appear unless the universe is aligning something beautiful, and it begins with honesty. What the cards confirm here is simple. This honesty flows from the most sincere place inside their soul. They want a real foundation built on truth, and they know that means laying everything wide open. Every piece of energy in this reading points toward one outcome, and that outcome is real healing. The truth they carry is not a weapon. It is an offering designed to bring you into openness. Prepare your heart for what is coming, because this person is about to show you who they are.
Now, let us talk about where you are standing in all of this, because it matters deeply. Let us go deeper into this, because your side of the connection deserves its own space right now. You have been feeling something stirring underneath the surface, and you cannot quite put a name to it. There is a restlessness living inside your chest lately, and it wakes you up at the strangest hours. Part of you already senses what is approaching, and that knowing sits heavy in your body without words. You keep replaying moments in your head, searching for clues that confirm what your intuition already whispered. The confusion is not about whether feelings are real, it is about whether you are ready for them. Your heart has been open longer than you want to admit, and that openness leaves you feeling exposed. The weight of wanting something you cannot control has settled deep, and it colors every thought you carry. You catch yourself drifting into daydreams at odd moments, imagining conversations that have not happened yet. The first card I have for you is the Moon, and it mirrors exactly what you are experiencing. The Moon speaks to that in-between space, where nothing feels clear and everything carries double meaning. You are walking through an emotional fog right now, and trusting your own perception has become incredibly difficult. One moment you feel certain about the direction, and the next moment doubt floods in and erases it. The Moon confirms that your emotions cycle fast, moving between hope and fear without any real warning. You are exhausted from reading between the lines, and your mind rarely finds a quiet place to rest. There is a deep ache beneath the questioning, and that ache comes from wanting clarity you truly deserve. You have been guarding yourself more than usual, building quiet walls that nobody else can see around you. The vulnerability it takes to let those walls dissolve feels terrifying, because you know what waits beyond them. Your instinct lately is to protect first and feel second, and that exhausting pattern drains you from within. We also have the Six of Cups here, and it pulls your attention straight toward the past. Old memories keep surfacing without invitation, and each one carries a warmth that makes the present feel incomplete. You find yourself comparing what was to what is, and that comparison stirs a longing you cannot shake. The Six of Cups tells me nostalgia grips you tightly, and it shapes how you interpret everything now. You miss a version of the connection that felt simpler, before complexity crept in and rearranged the landscape. That longing is not weakness at all. It is your heart remembering what genuine closeness actually felt like. You carry that memory like a compass, and it points you toward something you thought was forever lost. The next card here is the Four of Swords, and it reveals how deeply you need stillness now. Your mind has been running nonstop for weeks, analyzing every detail until exhaustion became your default entirely. The Four of Swords says you pushed through emotional fatigue, refusing to pause even when you desperately should. You tell yourself that resting means losing ground, but the truth is that stillness would bring you answers. The mental noise drowns out what your intuition keeps trying to say, and that frustration builds so quietly. You deserve a moment where you are not calculating outcomes, where you simply allow yourself to feel it. Your body already knows the truth before your mind catches up, and right now, your body is speaking. The tension between what you know and what you allow yourself to feel creates a quiet war inside. The last card is the Page of Cups, and it reveals a tender emotional invitation rising within you. Something new is asking to be felt, a softness you did not expect to find amid the chaos. The Page of Cups confirms that underneath the overthinking, there is a quiet hope you protect so fiercely. You guard that hope because disappointment has visited before, and another letdown feels like something you cannot carry. That hope refuses to leave. It resurfaces no matter how many times you attempt to bury it. Your heart is more resilient than you credit it for, and that resilience is what quietly carries you. Everything you feel right now is valid. Every question and every ache and every moment of silent wanting. You are standing at the edge of something meaningful, and your only task right now is to breathe. Okay, now let us shift completely to their side because what brews inside them runs incredibly deep. Let us see what the cards reveal today because their emotional world is anything but calm right now. A storm is forming behind their composed exterior, and every bit of it revolves around what they feel. They have been sitting with a weight nobody detects, and it grows heavier with each passing day. The silence they maintain is not indifference, it is a shield built from fear of saying too much. Their mind circles back to you constantly, and each time that pull grows stronger inside their chest. They wake up thinking about the state of things, and that thought follows them through every single hour. There is a pride in them that fights vulnerability, and that internal battle exhausts them from the inside. They want to lay it all bare, but something keeps whispering that exposure could cost them everything. The first card here is the Emperor, and it shows how tightly they grip control over their feelings. The Emperor tells me they built a fortress around emotion, brick by brick, over a very long stretch. They learned early that showing too much gives others power, and that lesson still governs their behavior. Control is their comfort zone, and what they feel for you threatens to dismantle that entire framework. The Emperor confirms they dread what happens when structure falls, and raw feeling rushes in to replace it. Their greatest fear is not rejection, it is losing composure in a moment where everything spills at once. They rehearse conversations alone at night, testing words that never capture the depth of what lives inside. Each version they draft in their head feels insufficient because the truth is larger than language allows. They fear that once they start talking, the dam breaks and nothing stays organized or carefully measured. That fear of emotional overflow keeps them locked in a holding pattern, circling without ever landing somewhere real. Their throat tightens every time they almost speak, and the words retreat back into the safety of silence. The next card is the Two of Wands, and it shows them standing at a crossroads inside themselves. The Two of Wands says they see two futures ahead, and both of those futures include you centrally. One path keeps things contained and familiar. The other demands they surrender every wall they ever built. They already know which path their heart pulls toward, but their mind keeps arguing for the safer option. The tension between desire and caution defines their inner world right now, and it consumes every thought. They hold both possibilities at once, and the weight of choosing between them is almost unbearable inside. We also have the Seven of Cups here, and it exposes the volume of emotion flooding their system. The Seven of Cups shows fantasies and fears knotted together, making it impossible to separate truth from anxiety. They imagine best outcomes one moment, then catastrophic endings the next, and neither picture feels fully accurate. Their emotional landscape resembles a maze right now, and every turn reveals another layer of longing they buried. They did not choose this ache on purpose. It arrived uninvited and now refuses to leave them. The depth of their attachment surprises even them because they never planned on feeling this intensely. They question whether what they carry is too much, whether the force of it will overwhelm everything. The Seven of Cups confirms their feelings span tenderness and terror, tangled with a desperate and undeniable hope. The last card is the King of Pentacles, and it reveals what anchors them beneath all the turmoil. The King of Pentacles tells me loyalty lives at their core, steady and immovable no matter the storm. Their devotion to you is not performative or temporary. It is woven into how they define their worth. They measure themselves by whether they can protect what matters, and you occupy that space without question. Beneath the indecision and the fear, there sits a devotion so grounded that nothing has shaken it loose. They carry you in a part of themselves that does not waver, even when everything else feels uncertain. Their silence has never been absence. It has been a guard posted over feelings too sacred to risk. Everything brewing inside them is real and rooted, and the pressure of containing it has reached its limit. So let us talk about what is actually about to happen, because the movement here is undeniable. Let us go ahead and dive into this, because the cards show concrete steps already being taken. They stop circling the situation inside their head, and now they shift fully into a mode of action. The deliberation phase is over for them, and what follows is direct forward motion aimed at you. There is a timeline forming around this conversation, and it is much shorter than you probably expect. They are clearing space in their schedule, mentally and physically, making room for this exchange to happen. Old distractions that used to absorb their attention are pushed aside because this takes full priority now. You will notice small behavioral shifts before the big talk arrives, subtle changes in how they reach out. The texting pattern changes first. Messages become more intentional and carry a different weight behind every word. They may start initiating contact at unusual hours, testing whether you are open to receiving what they bring. The first card here is the Eight of Wands, and it confirms everything accelerates from this point forward. The Eight of Wands does not represent slow or cautious movement. It represents rapid and decisive momentum. Messages are about to fly between you two, and the tone of those exchanges shifts into uncharted territory. This card tells me they are done waiting for perfection because they realized the right moment is now. Plans are being rearranged behind the scenes, schedules adjusted so a face-to-face becomes possible very soon. The Eight of Wands confirms physical movement toward you, whether across town or across a much further distance. They are removing every logistical barrier between intention and execution, clearing one obstacle at a time. Phone calls may replace texts soon because what they need to communicate demands the weight of real voice. You might receive an unexpected invitation, something casual on the surface, but loaded with deeper purpose underneath. The next card is the Chariot, and it confirms this person is fully committed to moving forward. The Chariot does not appear for half measures. It arrives when willpower has been harnessed entirely toward action. They are steering this situation with both hands now, refusing to let hesitation redirect their chosen course. Every excuse they once used to delay has been dismantled, and what remains is pure, determined momentum. The Chariot tells me they mapped out how this conversation unfolds, rehearsing the approach until it feels right. They picked a setting in their mind already, somewhere private where honesty can land without outside interference. This is not going to be a random outburst. It is calculated and intentional movement toward transparency. They want control over the environment, making sure nothing external disrupts what they have been building toward. Mutual friends or shared circles may unknowingly create openings, bringing you both closer together in physical proximity. Watch for invitations to group settings that feel orchestrated, because those gatherings serve a larger strategic purpose. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, and it shows collaboration entering the picture in a practical way. The Three of Pentacles confirms they want to build something tangible, not just talk about distant possibilities. This card represents joint effort, and it confirms they are ready to show up and do the work. They are preparing to propose something concrete, a plan that puts both of you on shared ground. The Three of Pentacles tells me actions follow words quickly because they already laid the groundwork in advance. They are not approaching this empty-handed. They bring structure and solutions alongside the honesty they carry. Expect a sudden shift in their availability toward you. Openness arriving where distance used to occupy that space. In the coming days, their actions will outweigh words, speaking louder than anything done in recent memory. The movement is already underway behind the scenes, and by the time you notice it, everything is rolling. Nothing about what is coming feels accidental. Every step has been mapped and aimed directly at you. The cards confirm action replaces hesitation now, and the pace of change between you accelerates from here forward. What sat stagnant between you is about to crack wide open, and it begins with their first move. Now, this is the part where we uncover what they will never voluntarily say out loud. Come in close, because the confessions buried beneath their composure are heavier than anything on the surface. There are truths living in the back of their throat, pressed down so tightly they almost feel permanent. They will never admit how often they lose themselves thinking of you during ordinary and mundane moments. Grocery stores and red lights and quiet mornings all become stages where your memory plays on constant repeat. They would never confess that they compared every connection encountered to what they experienced alongside you. Nothing measured up to that standard, and the hollow space it left got filled with everything except honesty. They secretly believe you are the only one who saw beneath their performance, and that belief haunts them. It terrifies them because it means vulnerability already happened, whether they gave permission for it or not. They never planned to need you this way, and the unplanned nature makes their confession feel harder. The first card here is the devil, and it exposes the obsessive nature of what they conceal inside. The devil reveals a craving they cannot shake, a pull toward you that operates beneath rational thought. They are privately consumed by this connection, and the intensity of that consumption scares them more than rejection. Late at night, when defenses drop, they scroll through old conversations, reading your words like sacred manuscripts. The devil confirms they replayed specific moments between you hundreds of times, extracting every ounce of meaning. They memorized the exact tone of your laughter, and that sound haunts every quiet space of their evenings. They would never tell you jealousy visited them when they imagined you giving attention to other people. That jealousy surprised them because they never considered themselves possessive. Yet with you, the rules entirely shifted. The devil shows a hunger they keep locked behind civility, a desire so raw it scares them silent. They want to know every hidden corner of your mind, the parts you share with nobody else alive. Their secret confession is that they already picture futures, with you embedded deeply inside every single chapter. They imagined holidays and weekday mornings and difficult seasons, and in every version, you were always present. The next card is the Nine of Cups, and it reveals the deepest wish they guard with everything. The Nine of Cups represents the one thing they want most, and that is your full, undivided presence. They do not just want conversation or companionship, they crave the closeness that leaves absolutely no distance. They want mornings where your presence is the first thing registered before the world floods in with noise. Their hidden wish is to be the first name you reach for when something beautiful or painful arrives. They secretly want to be irreplaceable in your world, not from ego, but from desperate need to matter. The Nine of Cups confirms they fantasize about hearing you choose them openly, without hesitation or qualification. They imagine you saying their name with a softness reserved only for them, and that image wrecks them. The confession they swallow hardest is that they need you more than their pride will ever allow showing. Then we have the Five of Swords, and it exposes the internal battles waged against their own wants. The Five of Swords tells me they argue with themselves daily, convinced that wanting this much is dangerous. They secretly fear the depth of what they carry will suffocate things if released all at one time. Part of them worries they love in a way that overwhelms, and that worry keeps confessions trapped inside. The depth of what they suppress could fill entire rooms, and still there would be more left unspoken. The hidden truth beneath every layer is this: they already belong to you in ways they never voiced. They gave pieces of themselves without announcement, quietly weaving devotion into gestures you may not have noticed. Their greatest unspoken confession is not about wanting more. It is about already being completely and fully yours. Every wall they built was never designed to keep you out. It existed to keep their secret safe. The weight of unspoken devotion presses against every interaction, bleeding through in ways they cannot seem to control. What they hide is not doubt or distance. It is love so consuming that silence became their refuge. Okay, let us bring this entire reading to a close because the near future holds something remarkable. Let us go ahead and get into it because what the cards project from here is absolutely beautiful. The first near future card is the Lovers, and it signals a pivotal reunion of hearts, fast approaching. The Lovers does not arrive for casual encounters. It appears when two paths are destined to merge completely. Within coming weeks, you will experience a shift in this connection, one that redefines everything between you. The Lovers confirms their honest conversation leads directly into a bond, deeper than either of you anticipated. What was fractured or uncertain before gets repaired through the sheer force of mutual willingness to show up. The second near future card is the Ten of Cups, and it radiates emotional fulfillment across every level. The Ten of Cups tells me the outcome here is warmth and the alignment you deeply longed for. This is not a temporary high or a fleeting burst of closeness. It is a lasting emotional foundation. The stability arriving here is not fragile. It is forged through honesty and anchored by mutual, chosen trust. The Ten of Cups promises that what begins with honesty grows into something stable and deeply nourishing together. Both of you will look back on this conversation as the turning point where everything finally clicked. Now for advice, we have Temperance, and it asks you to receive their words with balanced grace. Temperance tells you not to react impulsively when their truth arrives. Let it land fully before responding. The advice here is to